China expands anti-corruption campaign to local officials in preemptive sweep. The Chinese Communist Party has intensified its anti-corruption efforts, shifting focus from individual cases to systematic corruption. According to multiple sources within China, the recent meeting by the CCP's top anti-corruption watchdog emphasized not only strict party governance but also an expansion of investigations into city-level governments and newly promoted officials. The CCP's fifth plenary session of the 20th Central Commission for Discipline Inspection was held from January 12 to 14. While Chinese state media framed the meeting as part of a continuing, high-pressure anti-corruption stance, insiders describe a more strategic political purpose, using the campaign to consolidate power, reshape local bureaucracies, and preemptively manage risks within the party's hierarchy. One of the key messages was about governance, supervision, and the operation of power, said a source familiar with the party's disciplinary mechanisms to the Epoch Times. But at the local level, the signal is clear: every city must undergo a thorough review. From individual cases to systemic corruption. Unlike previous anti-corruption campaigns focusing on individual cases, this new initiative stresses systematic oversight and early risk prevention. The effort is not merely extending downward to grassroots officials. Rather, it targets critical nodes within local power structures, particularly positions controlling personnel, budgets, infrastructure projects, and public security. Many of the issues aren't new, the insider said. They've accumulated over the past few years. Now, the goal is to organize and unify the review process. Analysts argue that the heightened rhetoric about a complex and severe anti-corruption environment serves more to justify the regime's political maneuvers than to address systemic issues that fuel corruption. The current anti-corruption is essentially a political tool for those at the top to buy time and maintain control, Yu Yuliang, a China-based scholar who used a pseudonym due to safety reasons, told the Epoch Times. Without institutional reform, the system can only survive through repeated internal purges. Local leaders in the crosshairs. Sources indicate that recently promoted young officials and city-level leaders are now primary targets. Positions such as mayors and public security chiefs concentrate significant local power over project approvals, funding allocation, and law enforcement. Investigating these roles can ripple through entire local power structures, sending a clear warning to others. It's not about waiting for someone to make a mistake, an insider working within the government told the Epoch Times. They look at your position, your alliances, and whether your background can withstand scrutiny. If not, you're on the radar. Signs of this downward anti-corruption shift were evident in early January. The Chinese edition of the Epoch Times reported on January 12 that a new round of anti-corruption checks is underway at the city level, expanding beyond provincial and ministerial officials, according to sources from within the regime. Local authorities have been asked to submit detailed records, verify accounts, and provide explanations for personal and family assets. Some regions are also reviewing the backgrounds and finances of recently appointed local officials. Preemptive sweep. Officials in local prosecutorial offices describe the campaign as a preventive cleanup, rather than a reactive enforcement measure. It's about screening officials before problems emerge, one source in a local branch of the CCDI told the Epoch Times. Multiple regions, including Guangdong, Jiangxi, and Shandong, have launched extensive internal checks, investigating not only specific cases but also the pathways through which officials attained power, including potential instances of corruption or influence trading. This isn't just about one individual, but it's an entire network, the source said. The coverage this year is broader than in previous campaigns. The CCP's propaganda mouthpiece, People's Daily, reported that in 2025, the CCDI investigated roughly 65 of the party's central-level cadres, mainly at the deputy minister level and above, which was a record high. Targeted sectors included finance, energy, tobacco, and infrastructure, where power and resources are heavily concentrated. Hundreds of overseas fugitives were also repatriated for investigation. Rapid promotion no longer a safeguard. The campaign appears to be hitting recently promoted officials particularly hard. Previously, rapid promotion was a plus, a veteran local civil servant told the Epoch Times on condition of anonymity. Now, it makes you a priority target. The faster you rise, the closer the scrutiny. Officials who have swiftly ascended to key roles often rely on complex networks of personnel and financial connections. With review standards tightening, few have any safe zone. It's not about whether you currently have problems, the civil servant said. Anything from your past could be dug up. Many know this, and they're just waiting for their turn. Since the start of this year, the CCDI and the CCP's National Supervisory Commission have issued multiple investigation notices involving city-level officials and leaders in educational and health institutions, according to Chinese media reports. These notices typically describe the subjects as suspected of serious disciplinary violations, without revealing case details. As the latest round of the anti-corruption campaign moves further into local governments, its impact on administrative stability and governance in the communist regime is likely to become more visible in the months ahead. Yang Shi contributed to this report.